Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
They are our love bugs and companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life better. When we face unexpected challenges, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people and their pets. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This school year's in full swing. Students are back in the class learning, making new friends, and developing new interests. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Parents, communication is key to helping your student maintain a strong start to the school year. Whether your student is in high school or navigating the new world of kindergarten, keep an open dialogue about what they're learning and how they are growing.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Old School with DP and J.
You know, earning a black shirt is a great honor. I mean, obviously you got coaches that haven't been here before, but at the end of the day, they understand somewhat of what it means. And the majority of the guys, or the guys that got them, they must be doing something right. For me personally, you know, that was just something I never forgot, man. It was just when I was on campus, because I never envisioned myself doing anything until my senior year.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take, but it gave my mom and me more time to plan together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, well, welcome to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson from Peter Ferguson BHS LLC, and it is September 24th, 2023. Looking at closing out the month here. How you doing, Harrison?
Good. It's going by fast. It's kind of crazy. Every time Husker football comes around, I get super excited for it. Obviously preseason, that's the best time, right? But I get super excited, and it's flying by already. I think this couple days ago, maybe it was 3 days ago, officially fall now. So we're just steaming right ahead. NBA is coming around the corner, so that's got me excited. Obviously Nebraska basketball, we're just kind of at a point. This is like my sweet spot, so I'm doing good. I'll be doing good for a while.
I was going to say that alignment. There's that little dead spot. What is it? Right about July.
Yeah, right about July the summer's a little brutal for me because I'm just stuck to pure baseball. So that's a tough one to dive into.
Well, hey, the Royals won 5 games in a row. I saw that announcement. They're like, look who won 5 games in a row, and I was like, okay, I don't really care. And then all of a sudden I see a Royals figurehead. So I'm like, okay, something's going on down the street. So, and I think they got the Beyonce concert next week. So I have to give a shout out to that. The Beehive will be joining the Kansas City area rescheduled because my daughter will be in that mix. So I'm holding on for dear life on what that's going to look like. So. But hey, no, been a great week all the way around. Again, you've got those fall, sports kind of in that last, past that halfway mark for most things, like especially football, and then kind of learning that last 1/3 for kind of some of the other sports. When you start looking at like cross country, some of the other ones, tennis and those type of things. Volleyball is kind of at that halfway, a little bit over that mark as well. And so, just kind of congratulations to those that are continuing to keep going. Got great weather, so that's always nice. You're not having to do some travel things. We had some thunderstorms this week. We traveled out to Kearney a couple times and hit the storms on, I think it was Friday or Thursday night, hit those storms. We were kind of like going into it, and then on the way back home, it was like following us. So I know there were some high school football games that were delayed a little bit with some thunderstorm warnings.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those weeks, and luckily they got to finish the game for Nebraska yesterday, kind of speaking on that weather, which was nice, especially because the game like this, I know there's a lot of people that come down for them. To have that rain delay is kind of a bummer, but luckily they were able to finish the game. And it is kind of that midpoint in the season for a lot of people, and for other programs they're just kind of getting into it. But again, I think it's just, especially for these football programs, especially, we have a lot of new schools in the Lincoln area. Standing Bear kind of being a new one. I'm blanking on Northwest. Northwest being another one. And it is kind of fun. Like, obviously those programs, you're not expecting them to be world beaters at this point, but to kind of see that growth and development. It's just kind of a good point in the season. I kind of want to ask you, what is your favorite part about Kearney right now? Because you go there a lot. You're making a lot of trips down to Kearney, and I never ask you about it.
You know what? Fitness fanatics are not going to like me, but what I'm going to say is the sampler platter at Whiskey Creek.
The sampler platter at Whiskey Creek.
I am crushing that sucker. I have tried to limit myself on each road trip. If we have to go there twice during the week to once, I'm picking that up. There are some fried pieces on that. I'm going to bring one back for you.
Okay.
Because I'm going to tell you, there's a couple times it's made it home back into the refrigerator, and that sucker is still good on the following morning. So that has been great, but just the atmosphere itself. I mean, you talk about just opportunities for scholars and support. I mean, going in there, they have a big screen in the middle of the gym if you've not been there. So they do just a phenomenal, tunnel sort of walk when they come out. Just seeing the young scholars, young ladies that are out there supporting, and then just some elderly individuals are like coming up to me and they're like, "Okay, are you Jaden Ferguson's dad?" And you're just like, "Okay, who are you?" What it's about. So it's just been a real welcoming community. But on that exit, that Whiskey Creek is too darn close. And doing that online order, picking that up on the way out is dangerous. It's not been great for the waistline. I'm just going to say it, put it that way.
Oh, so you're hooked. You're getting an online order on the way out.
Oh, well,
you're not even waiting.
No, I mean, why not? You can just pick it up, run and go. I mean, but it's Whiskey Creek has been my downfall.
I'll have to try it. 402-464-5685. Tell me if you've been to Whiskey Creek and Kearney. If you want to join the show, again, we'll have a couple of scholars on later, all the way up until 9 o'clock before we get to Fitness Fanatics. So we'll have a full day of Sunday shows here. So again, 402-464-5685, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo, channel 951, and we have better cameras. So it is a great way to put a face to the voice. And I really mean that. I used to say that the old station all the time, and I was kind of lying because it was like 6 pixels. So I was like, I don't know how great it is, but now we have some high quality cameras in here. And again, we have the sign out front. We kind of mentioned them before. We got,
we got
Jake
some names.
and Sipple as
People
trash
named on
can,
those out
and
there.
Bill Bush for president. So if you want to show up and bring a sign or just say what's up, I'm sure these guys will be down to talk to you, as well as some of the other morning shows. So on 11th and O Corner, feel free to stop by, and we will have Mill Coffee later, which that's kind of my problem. You're talking about the Whiskey Creek platter,
right.
hot vanilla latte. I can't stop getting that. It's too dang good. So definitely check it out. 11th and O. We got the Mill here, but Pete, we got a little bit of time. Why don't you kind of preview what we have ahead for our guest here?
Yeah, no, it's been a good week in just a lot of ways. I do want to give a couple shout outs to some individuals. Educator Barb Miller. We got the opportunity to facilitate to over 200 middle school scholars that are in the AVID program. And AVID's a program, the honors cadre. It's some just gifted, talented scholars throughout the district at many of, I think, the 8 to 9 of our middle schools. And just talked about some things with leadership with purpose. And she put together a symposium that was in partnership with the UNL Business College. And it was great. It was great. Just kind of being able to touch some of those young individuals, just kind of be empowered by them, but also just give them some nuggets as well. And so she did a tremendous job on that. So I want to just give her a shout out on the coordination of that. Got to visit a couple elementary schools during the week. I don't know if I shared this last week, but I went into one, and I remember walked away, and the teacher came up to me and they said, yeah, that young person said the kids thought you were the one that built the school. I was just like,
where'd that come from?
I have no clue, but you know what? I was very appreciative because it was something that was different. Because normally it's like, hey, you look like Shaq, you look like Michael Jordan. I'm like, you're 9 years old. Who do you know? Who you don't even know who Michael Jordan is? It's like a silhouette on something. So I am the Bob the Builder of Lincoln, Nebraska. So I am appreciative of that. I'm wearing that one with pride. But my week has been filled with some of those things and some different engagements. So again, wanted to give a shout out to that scholar for making me the Bob the Builder of Lincoln Public Schools.
Yeah, leave it to the youth to really leave it to the youth to like really inspire you. I'll never forget. I was going for a run just over by Yankee Hill, and there's around the nice neighborhood there. And I'm just wearing a long sleeve Lakers shirt, and I'm just running up the hill, and there's a group of kids playing basketball outside, and they're all just start running with me, and they're just like, go LeBron, because they're all LeBron fans, and I'm wearing a Lakers shirt. And man, I'll tell you what, I never ran so fast in my life. And then I added that youth. So I know what you mean there. It is kind of funny, but the way they just call that out for you.
I think what's going to be cool here is when you talked about the running. I don't know why I had a flashback. I'm doing a raft moment of just getting scattered, but the marathon. When that actually happens, and that's going to be downtown, like the 93.7, the ticket's going to have a front row seat to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've run 4 of them, 4 full marathons, a bunch of halves. I know I don't look like it, but I remember I'm running through the neighborhood and some kids like, they had signs, you're a runner, go get it. I'm like, I'm 6'3", 250 some pounds. There is nothing about me that looks like a runner. And so they're cheering it out. I'm like trying to wave, and I can barely get my hand up. I can barely breathe. I'm one of those people like, I just need to have headphones. I need to be focused when I go forward. So that's always fun when they like get behind you, like, did you play football? Or using me as a windbreaker. Thanks for breaking the wind for me for the last 5 miles. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to do.
No, that's a good tactic. You know what? I might, if I ever run into a marathon, that might be a not bad idea. Just find the tall guy for a windbreaker.
Find the biggest person and go ahead and just stay right behind out of earshot. They don't have enough energy to turn around and get you.
I didn't realize how many. So you did 4 marathons. When was the last one you did?
Oh, geez. It was before COVID. I want to say 2018. I want to say 2018. It was the Lincoln one was the last one. My first one was the Des Moines full. And I had a couple of knee surgeries, and I wasn't able to play basketball. And I was just like, you know what? I just kind of wanted a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And so after I got out of the knee surgery, my knee felt better. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and try a half marathon because the doctor said I will not do any more surgeries on you if I find out you're playing basketball. But he didn't say anything about running. And so I could run in a straight line, and I could run 10 miles and not feel, I'd be tired, but I wouldn't be
Right.
insane.
You kind of
'Cause-
get that cadence different from
Yeah,
basketball where you're
yeah,
jumping and
you
cutting.
you can control it.
Mhm.
And then if I played basketball for 15 minutes, I'd be out for 2 or 3 days. So did that. My goal was always to beat Oprah's time. Oprah ran it in 4. If you can look up celebrities' times, and Oprah ran it like 4:38 or something like that, 4:32. And I was never able to beat her time.
That's impressive. I didn't realize Oprah had that good of a time.
Yeah. If you look at, because they do training and everything
Right.
else, but like some of these celebrities, you'll look at their times, you're like, whoa, how in the heck did they crush these? And you have to remember they had certain trainings, but I remember there was like military people always give a salute, thanks for their service. They would go by, et cetera, et cetera. And you're like, man, okay, they're just crushing me. Or there'd be I had a pregnant woman pass me. And I remember when that happened, I was just like crushed. I was like, oh, what am I doing? Well, finally I looked up their number. You could look up their number, and then I looked up online and saw who they were, and they're like, oh, they were these world-class runners. So even at 9 months pregnant, they were going to crush me no matter what. So, it was just something to be able to do. It was great to kind of be in that kind of shape. I wish I kind of had that mindset. It took a lot of time. But it's one of those things that I'll look back on and I really enjoy. I don't think I'll ever be able to complete something like that again, but may venture out and try to train for a half, at some point in time.
Okay, I was wondering because I was like, I know Jeff and Nicole, if they're listening, they're gonna be like, "Hey, Pete, what are you doing?"
The half, I went through shoes like crazy.
I believe it.
I was spending probably $200 on shoes because I needed a certain type of shoe,
Mm.
and I would every 6 weeks, I'd have to get a new set of shoes in the training because I could tell. So beside the point, but yeah, it was one of those things. Take me down, memories, and make me have flashbacks. These young scholars here are like. Okay, yeah, like you actually ran. You ran to Whiskey Creek is what you ran to.
Yeah, there you go. These days, ordering online and running over there. But nonetheless, I'm kind of wrapping things up here on this first segment. Let's lay out what we have ahead here. Then we'll go ahead and throw it to break. And then again, we'll have 2 more segments of Bigger Than the Score.
Yeah, no, I always say excited, but the highlight of this is having scholars that come into the space and just kind of get to share their journey, their perspective, and give us advice and insight. And as they kind of look out the window and get to see kind of be in these new spaces, we've got Lainey, and Lainey I have known for a period of time, and her father, and so have just watched her grow, and she's going to have a phenomenal story, and it's just a good person all the way around. And I want to make sure Anea, I asked her prior before. Anea is our guest, and I met Anea at a camp probably about 2 months ago, right towards the end of summer or whatever else. And Anea just kind of showcased not only just the skill set on the court, but just her ability to engage, and really impressed. Actually, I have to give credit to College of St. Mary's coach Kirk Walker there. And I remember after he just during the middle of it, he said, "Who is that young lady?" And he says, I just love the way she's interacting with individuals and the younger scholars, but just also individuals that are her age. And so Anea's just kind of impressed me, and just wanted to kind of learn a little bit more about her story, her insight, but just also the compassion that she shows for one another. So I'm appreciative of both of them being here. Anea's from Lincoln High, as the first year student there. And then we've got Lainey here, who's a seasoned veteran over at Northeast High School. So they'll both kind of share their perspectives on what their journeys have been like.
Absolutely. And should be a great show as always. Again, if you haven't listened to Bigger Than the Score yet, Pete does a good job getting these scholars in, and I'm always impressed on what they have to say. We do have one from YouTube that I want to get to real quick as we get off the memory lane. But he says, this is from Clean Cheap Shots. Says, "Hey, Pete, long time. I was out training and had a lady pushing a stroller next to me. Fastest half mile I have ever ran. Thank goodness she peeled off." So he knows what you're talking about. Yes. You definitely have those encounters where you're like, I guess that's just where I'm at.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, this is Bigger Than the Score. We got Pete Ferguson. I'm Harrison Arms running the 1s and 2s. We'll have scholars on the next segment. Be sure to stay tuned in. We'll catch you guys on the other side of the break.
Sunday morning. It's quiet. Not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know Don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum. Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solutions. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Our sense of smell can tell us a lot. Fresh baked apple pie, good. Cigarette smoke, bad. But what happens when bad things smell good? When secondhand vape smells like strawberries, or mangoes, or cotton candy, and dangerous chemicals have a disguise. That's when people let their guard down around secondhand smoke, even though it's all full of harmful chemicals.
Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This school year's in full swing. Students are back in the class learning, making new friends, and developing new interests. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Parents, communication is key to helping your student maintain a strong start to the school year. Whether your student is in high school or navigating the new world of kindergarten, keep an open dialogue about what they're learning and how they are growing.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Nebraska State Veterans Homes are here to serve veterans, their spouses, surviving spouses, and Gold Star parents. Join your fellow veterans and their families at one of our homes in Bellevue, Kearney, Norfolk, or Scottsbluff. With a sliding scale to determine your financial contribution, an excellent clinical team, and plenty of fun activities, our homes are the perfect retirement choice. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/homes. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
one vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes.
My kid
knows it's dangerous. 5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson BHS LLC, joined on the ones and twos as always every Sunday morning with Harrison, and truly appreciative of that. And you all are getting us crystal clear from 1040 O Street. Harrison talked about that earlier with the cameras. I can no longer say just have a face for radio, so I've got to do that just for men's treatment every morning to make sure I don't have that speckles going on down on the chin. Those of you that are a little bit older know what that is all about. But Harrison, they want to get in touch with us. How can they do that?
Yeah, super easy. Starter Heyman text line or the Honda of Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685. Always feel free to chime in that way, and streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo channel 951. Again, a great way to put a face to the voice if you want to do so.
Fantastic. Well, hey, as we went to the break, we kind of segued into introducing our two guests. And each week we try to bring a couple scholars to provide some insights, some perspectives, some advice. And we're just going to go ahead and get right to it. So we've got Miss Scholar Laney here. And a scholar like Laney, I told I'd known for a while. But Laney, tell us a little bit about who you are. Are you from Lincoln? Have you always gone to school here? And then we'll ask you about who's in your family.
I'm from Lincoln. I grew up here, moved here when I was 3. So been here. I have my mom and my dad, Craig and Katie, and then my older brother.
Okay, so she shouted out the family a little bit. I'm going to scoot up just a tad bit. But and so you talked about you've always grown up in Lincoln. Where have you gone to school?
I went to Cahill Elementary School and then Mickle Middle School and then Lincoln Northeast High School right now, senior.
Okay. So you're on top of the world here as a senior. We're going to talk a little bit about what that looks like for you. And then we've got our other scholar here. And so she's looking bashful. She's looking at me staring. She's like, you're going to screw up my name again. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? I'll have you step up closer to the mic, but go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, and then tell us who's in your family.
Oh, my name's Anaya. My family, my mom, my dad. I have 5 siblings.
Okay.
And my grandparents on both sides.
Awesome. Yeah, and give us their names a little bit.
My mom's name is Anna, and then my dad's name is Frederick. I have my sister, my only sister, that's Nesme. And then I have Isaiah, Desmond, Malachi.
Okay.
That's my siblings. And my grandparents, Freddie and Dora on my dad's side, and then Linda and Rick on my mom's side.
Awesome. So we got a full group going on. They're probably all listening strong. So they were like, wait a minute, why is my name not being said yet? Why is my name not being okay? Now you're good. Now you can go back into the household, go ahead and get that love. And so tell us, where have you gone to, where do you go to school? And then have you always lived in Lincoln? Where have you gone to school in Lincoln?
So yeah, I've always lived in Lincoln. I've been here since I was born, basically. And then school, I went to Rousseau Elementary and then Irving Middle School. And now I'm a freshman at Lincoln High.
Okay. So we've got two contrasts a little bit. We got the senior and we got the first year. So we want to know a little bit about that. Laney, tell us a little bit. What are you involved in?
So I run volleyball. I run track and I play volleyball.
Wait a minute, you said run volleyball.
I know.
We're going to talk about the uniqueness on that, but I'm like, okay, there's some different sort of conditioning that's been going on or something. So.
And then I'm involved in like National Honor Society. I was in student council and like Rocket Rowdies or like student sports group and stuff like that.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay. And so tell me just, about, you've gotten involved in those type of things. Why? Has that something you started like in elementary school, kind of athletics wise, and then some of the other opportunities you've been involved in?
Yeah, kind of. I've always had the same little group and we all just gone through and then we split away in high school. So in high school was really big, when I came into student council to make new friends and all that stuff. Cause was just like being the odd one out, but
Awesome.
it was
Awesome.
fun.
And so, how about you? What have you been involved in? Sorry, Ayana.
So yeah, I do basketball. I think I'm gonna do track this year again. But I'm an avid student. I'm in like a trio like group for school.
Okay.
And that's pretty much. I think I'm gonna sign up for like the Latino leadership program.
Awesome.
During the school.
Awesome. So again, kind of share a little bit because you're kind of on a different, you're kind of exploring different things as you've gotten into high school, and some of this is really new and things like that. But what kind of sparked your interest? Let's just say first off with athletics, and then what have you been looking for? You talked about Avid and Trio and Latino leadership. Why are those things of interest to you right now?
So basketball interested me really because like once I quit gymnastics, it was like I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. So
Okay.
it was like basketball or soccer, and I decided to go with basketball. But I've always been just like an athletic type of person. Like I always like being active and all these things. So I went with basketball, and that's just like what I went for. And with like programs throughout the school, I've heard it like leaves a good like for your school like resume or something. And it's just like I want to be in like the groups and stuff, like just explore different things and see what I like.
Okay. And so you talked about gymnastics. It's kind of it's just, we don't have that in high school, as a high school athlete, in NSAA. I don't believe we used to, but not anymore. How did that start? I'm just kind of interested on that story. And then when it kind of came to an end was the decision, because, I have to pursue it in this kind of fashion, but it's not necessarily available maybe in high school.
So yeah, I did tumbling when I was little, and then I started like actually like doing gymnastics, and I was competing for like three years, I think.
Okay.
So that was going pretty good, but then over the summer it just kind of wore me out. They had me going like 5 days a week for like
Wow.
2.5 hours over the summer, and I was like, that was just too much, and so it like just wore me out, and I lost interest a little bit. So
Fantastic. Yeah, I've heard that's just kind of there's a, I don't want to say grind, because I think sometimes that puts a negative connotation with it, but there's just some different expectations when you talk about investment of time and what that looks like. And then also along with that, the physical strains that it puts on your body. So was really interested in kind of just your journey with that. So, I'm going to ask you a question, something that people wouldn't know just by looking at you. I'm going to ask both of y'all that, but what's something people would know if they just saw you walking down the street? They wouldn't know just by looking at you.
So I've got told a lot that I look like a sophomore or like I act like a junior or something.
Okay.
Just over school, but I don't know. I don't know if you can really tell if somebody's like an athletic type of person, but I've got told that too.
Okay, so you got told that you carry yourself, you look older, but you also carry yourself with that maturity, Okay, Lainey, what about you? Something that people would know by just looking at you.
I honestly have no idea. I feel like I look like the normal person that would play volleyball or like run track.
Okay.
I just like, I don't know. You'd look at me and probably think I'm not like, I don't like outgoing or something. I don't know.
Okay. Is there something about you that people need to connect with you and be able to have conversation with you to kind of really truly know who you are?
I would say I'm like, I don't know. I'm pretty just like out there. Like normally, like if someone's closed off, I'm not good. I'm shy at the beginning, but if like someone talks, I don't know.
Okay. So interested about just your school first. You're in high school now. You kind of have gone through all 4 years at Northeast High School. What makes Northeast just unique? What's going to leave a memory on you as you kind of walk out those doors in May and just look back and be like, okay, this is what Northeast was about for me.
So I know like Northeast has like a bad connotation and it's like a little like looked down upon, but I loved it. Like I've loved every year I've had there. Like there hasn't been like a bad experience. Like I know at a lot of schools there's like the popular groups and stuff like that,
Right.
but at Northeast like you're friends with everyone, and I honestly like believe that like there's a great like a family group there.
Cool.
It's like there's no like, oh, you're not like friends with these people, but everyone like knows each other, and I love it there.
Awesome. So you got that community, you got that family,
yeah.
and so people that you can connect with that you might say like in 2 or 3 years when you need some cash, you're gonna go ahead and call them back saying like, hey, I need you to Venmo me some money.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
remember we were family at one point in time. Give me some cash.
Yeah.
So
Like I bought your McDonald's during that time.
there you go. She's like Dion. She's keeping receipts.
Yeah, I got
She's
that.
keeping receipts. That's what she's doing. Harrison. Ayana, what about you?
So I like it at Lincoln High. It's pretty fun. I went there really only for basketball, and so far it's been good. Like I've got to know a lot more people and made new connections with other people.
Okay. So as you looked at like going into, middle school, you said you went to Rousseau. Tell me your middle school.
Irving.
Irving. You went to Irving and then you went to Lincoln High. What has that transition been like as you've kind of walked into one? It's not only just size, and Irving's actually a pretty decent sized middle school. I mean, I don't think if people don't know that. And then you go ahead and you go into high school. What has that transition been like? What has been one positive, but one thing that you're like, wow, like I didn't realize this is what this was gonna be like.
So yeah, from like elementary to Irving, it wasn't like that different, but it was hard the first week getting around everywhere since, like you said, it was pretty big. But after like the first few days, then I pretty much got it, and then after that, it was like a pretty good 3 years at middle school. But from Irving to Lincoln High, it was about the same thing, like pretty big, from South Building to main building, like all these things. But it's pretty good now. Like I know my way around and like where to get to where I need to go.
Talk about, like Lady talked about community and just kind of those things that make Lincoln High unique. What's something that you would say, in your first, it's been 6 weeks, 7 weeks, give or take, that you would say as a promo for Lincoln High School?
I wouldn't say there's like really like groups of people like how Lainey was saying, but everybody really knows everybody, and like you're not part of like this certain group with like these certain people. Like some of my friends like are friends with only these people, but like I'll be friends with them too. And it's just like you go to like your other class and you're like they don't got like there's nothing between them. It's just like they're on separate people. Like they don't have the same interests maybe, but like I connect with like really a lot of people.
Awesome. Well, that AD's probably smiling as he's listening to the radio. I think he's in Oklahoma. He's a Lincoln High grad. So you all have all these people probably flooding the text line saying, go Lynx, go Lynx. And so we'll hold off on that. But no, thanks for sharing on that. Lainey, you said you're playing volleyball and you do track and you're being very modest and accomplished in a lot of different ways. But there's something unique about your volleyball experience that most individuals don't get during their high school or even collegiate experience. So kind of share a little bit about that.
So I happen to be the coach's kid.
Okay. You're one of those then. Yeah. Okay. That's why you said the running piece. That's why I was like, she said, well, I run volleyball. So I was like, was there something that went on here this last week or what?
No, yeah. I've played it since I've grown up, but it's a little like normally it's like you're only playing because you're the coach's kid, but it's been the exact opposite.
Right. Okay.
I'm the one. Yeah. It's fun though. It's like during the fall, it's a little at home, a little touchy, but it's a lot better now and it's fun.
Well, how did I mean when that started kind of out? Because obviously that didn't just start. Your dad's an accomplished coach and has coached for a number of years and does a tremendous job at it. Just talk a little bit about what that experience was like. Did that start in elementary school, middle, high school? Like, what was your consideration when you knew, like, okay, I'm going to high school. This is a sport I do probably want to play, and then I'm gonna have to play for my dad. Like, what is that conversation like?
Yeah, so I did like YMCA ball, like and like where we play like little elementary schools, middle school.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
It was fun, and my dad was a coach there too. And then when we got into like middle school and high school, I was playing club, and then we were at the same club, but he never like coached me, which I liked. So I always had a different coach.
He gave you the ride there and then dropped you off. And you're just like, you go that way. I'm going to this court.
Exactly.
Why are you looking over here? This is my coach.
Yeah, exactly. And so when we're going into high school, it was like we did have like the freshman year talk about how like it's not going to be all easy. Like I do have to be tougher on you. I can't show you that like it's like you're my kid. Like it's not like a relationship out there, but like we do have like it's like a connection. It's not like maybe the nicest way of knowing, but like the nostrils do get flared pretty much.
Awesome. And then like as you've gone, like what's a memory that you're gonna take with you? The season's not over and you're still continuing and gonna have some success. But what's as you're looking at it as kind of coming to a close, what's something that you're looking back and being like, wow, that was really cool that other people don't get to experience?
Just like being able to like have my dad at all the games, because I know a lot of people aren't like having someone travel with them to like the games where we go to Norfolk and stuff like that. But just like being able to have my dad there and like always have him if something is going wrong is like really nice. It's like we're still at the end of the day, like we're going home to the same house. So it's like it's pretty nice.
Awesome. I always say like when coaching, and I always do this kind of when I have that conversation when people are have their kid on a team, or parents are like, okay, my kids, you're coaching, you have favorites. And I say, yeah, you do. Like, yeah, I have a favorite. I don't do favoritism, but I do have a favorite, and that's my daughter. And so with your dad, I think that's the same way.
Yeah.
And so I know he's proud of you, and every time I see pictures and you all in the space, you get to enjoy those moments. And so he does a tremendous job of that. Craig Songster over at Northeast High School. So, Ayana, what about you? Have you had folks who's been coaches for you? You talked about going to Lincoln High for academics and have it in a lot of those programs, but you also talked about going to play basketball as well. Talk a little bit about like what has drawn you to that environment.
So when I first started playing basketball, I was with Angelo, who lives up in Beatrice right now. I see him every off, like pretty much a few times. But so I first started playing with him for, I want to say like a year and a half, maybe 2. I don't know for sure, but that's what basically got me started. I joined that team because one of my closest friends like told me like she played for them, and so I went to go play. And that's just really where I started at. And then his team, since he lived up in Beatrice, he had to shut, like, our team was like basically done for, since it was like going back and forth like every day of the week.
So that commute and everything that was going on.
So our team was like no longer, like we weren't together no more, and we basically just like split up. Like some of the girls stopped playing, some of them were in high school, so like they just played for school. And then I went over to Verley with Tommy and Michi and all them, and that helped a lot. That like they like a really good program, and I liked it there. Like I knew a lot of people, and everybody was just like so welcoming, and it was pretty nice. Well, I stopped playing with them just like around the end of the season, and I went over to the Lady Panthers with Dante, and I played with them for like their last tournament of the season up in Kansas, I think it was. And I knew like pretty much everybody on the team just from like other teams that I was with, and so like they all knew me, and it like I just got along with them like very well and pretty easily. And now I go to school with all of them. Like that's basically our whole like our team for the season or whatever. And so yeah, it was pretty fun playing with them, and just overall like basketball, it's never been like I don't really know. Like I've always liked who I've been coached by and stuff. And then like my trainers, I have like Lexi. She works over at Lincoln High just from this year. She transferred from Scott. And then Chuck Love, I train with like twice a week.
Cool. So you got a good family, a good support network. I know we're going to go to a break here, but I want to kind of build on that when we get back and just talk about the value and importance of relationships and what that has meant to you all as you've moved forward, and why should that mean something to others. And so when we come back on the other side of this break on 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score with Pete Ferguson, we're going to talk with our scholars about relationships and some advice that they would have for scholars, educators, in the greater community. So stay with us. We'll see you in a bit.
If you struggle with joint pain, there's good news. You don't need surgery to get back to full health. South Point Medical and Aesthetics offers breakthrough non-surgical options for treatment of moderate to severe joint pain. Our patients experience little to no downtime from our procedures, and the results are remarkable. They've had 14 years of successful treatments with patients from 35 states because of an effective word-of-mouth traffic. Learn more about how you can get lasting results for joint pain today at southpointmedical.com or call 402-323-8400.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
This school year's in full swing. Students are back in the class learning, making new friends, and developing new interests. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Parents, communication is key to helping your student maintain a strong start to the school year. Whether your student is in high school or navigating the new world of kindergarten, keep an open dialogue about what they're learning and how they are growing.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays. The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Awesome. Welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson. I am joined here with Anea and Lainey, two scholars, one from Lincoln High. Anea is from Lincoln High School, is a first-year scholar there, correct? And Lainey as well. And I do want to, first off, definitely give that apology. I learned from Keith Brown, who was on here before. I have been mispronouncing Anea's name wrong and do just sincerely apologize. Sometimes we get too big to not make those apologies, and so want to make sure moms doesn't come in and come in the studio and be like, that's my baby, come on now, we named her this for a reason. But do sincerely apologize because names do matter, and Lainey as well. But appreciative of having them. We've got a little bit of a shorter segment. Always ask the question just about relationship, and just real briefly, just say, why do relationships matter? Why do relationships matter in your life as a scholar, but why should they matter for people in general? Lainey, we'll start with you.
I just think like the more people you know is like the more opportunities you're going to be able to have. So like with track, my track coach he's well known. Like he played in the NFL, he knows so many people. Like he gets so many opportunities. He goes and speaks everywhere just because he like had all those, like he knows all those people in places. So I just like have learned and looked up to him, like how he does all those things.
Awesome. And Anaya, what about you?
Relationships are like pretty important to me. Like knowing that I have like my whole family supporting me at all times, and like with school, like knowing a lot of people, it just makes it like a better environment. Knowing like you have somebody like to talk to throughout the day, and like just make school better.
Awesome. So something we always do is we ask for advice. Okay. And so I'm going to ask you for some advice on what is some advice that you would give, let's just say to your peers. What's some advice that you would give to your peers right now?
I would for like grades and stuff, just because like going like since I've been looking at college and stuff, take your freshman year seriously. Like your GPA will affect you all like the last 3 years.
Okay.
It is a thing. So that's my biggest advice. Just like always, at least try.
Awesome. And Anaya, how about you? I want to ask you, I'm going to flip it a little bit. What's some advice that you would give to those that are seniors right now? Some scholars that are seniors in school right now?
I don't know, like college. I know, like if they're going to college, I know that's going to be like a big difference from like high school to college. But I don't know, just keep doing like good, like with your grades and stuff, because that really matters. And just keep going with like what you like feel like you think you want to do for like the rest of your life or whatever.
Awesome. What's some advice that you would give to parents? And you talked about, Lanny, your dad being a coach. What's some advice that you would give to parents out there kind of going through this raising kids right now? Some nuggets that they just like, sometimes they either know or they really need to hear.
Yeah. Let them try like what they want. Like don't force them to like go to do sports if they would rather do band. Like I played band. Like it was like just let them try what they want to do and don't force them on it because they'll end up like finding what they enjoy in their hobby.
I was gonna say, what instrument in band?
I was clarinet.
That's what I was. Battle for last chair for 3 years.
I was really bad.
Yeah,
Like,
no, you weren't gonna take my spot. 3 years last chair. I went ahead and held it down. They tried to compete against me for that too. I was like, this is my spot. All right. Hello, clarinet now. And then what about you? Advice you'd give to parents?
I was gonna pretty much say the same thing. Just like let them do like what they want. Don't force them to do anything because they might lose interest in wanting to do anything. Like throughout sports, like if they want to do this, don't make them do whatever like you want them to do. Like it's like you had your opportunity. Now it's their turn.
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
I like that. Laney, something special happened to you. You're here this week. Your dad shared it with me. You were on homecoming royalty, I believe, at Northeast High School. So congratulations. And I think not only was she on the royalty, but she was, you were voted, you won. You and another scholar won. And what was so significant, and not only just about that, was you did something really, you and the other individual did something really cool. And would you be willing to share just kind of that and just what went on behind being kind and being somebody that's willing to give to others?
Yeah, so it was me and one of my friends. We were both nominated and we won, but there was also these two, they're special ed, they have like disabilities. Hussein, who has Down syndrome, and Sydney. They were both nominated and they didn't win, but like Hussein, I was in unified PE with him and we were partners for a whole semester. So we were like, in my last
that was your
period,
crew. That was part of that community, part of that crew right there.
Exactly. So we gave up our nomination and gave it to them. So they were crowned at our dance and they were super happy about it.
Wow, that's really cool. And give the name of the other individual who Trevor was another individual that won, and then the two individuals that you all ended up crowning and being part of that court.
Yeah, Hussein and Sydney. They're
all right.
All
right, over there at Northeast High School. So congratulations to the all four of y'all for that. That's really cool. So kind of as we just move forward to kind of closing things out, I want to get a little bit about what are your future plans and aspirations. And then we're going to start with you. I know you're just starting, high school at Lincoln High, but what are some future plans and aspirations that you have for yourself, whether it's in the school or post high school?
So yeah, I'm pretty much looking forward to like the basketball season this year, just being able to travel. But eventually, I want to get like to a pro level, like playing in college, and then pretty much after that, like in the WNBA.
Okay. What's a college? What's a college that you see or envision yourself being at?
See, I have not thought about that yet. There's like, I was like, I'm just starting freshman. Like, why do I need to think about that? But I know it's pretty much like I need to start because it's only 4 years. It's going to go by fast, but I haven't really thought about it yet.
An element is something that you want to study.
I'm like pretty big. Like I like the like criminal justice. Like
Okay.
yeah, my mom's watched like a lot of Law and Order, and she made me like she had me watch one episode, and I was like, after that, I was just watching it all the time with her.
I love that. I think here we had last week we had Addison and Catrice in, and so one of them wanted to be in criminal justice. We never have somebody just say, because I was in communications. Most of us are out of communications majors. No, I want to be criminal justice. I want to be forensic scientist. I want to be an a marine biologist. So that's really cool. So yeah, that'll it'll go by quick. Believe me, having a daughter, it'll go by quick. Lainey, what about you? You're in your senior year. What kind of plans? What does it look like for you, kind of moving forward?
So I plan to run track in college. I don't know where yet, but I plan to go. I'll hurdle there, and then I want to major in psychology and be a OT, so occupational therapist.
Okay. And so you talked about track. We talked a lot about volleyball, but you also are an accomplished track athlete. Tell us a little bit about that journey and what that's been like.
So I started in 7th grade, and then COVID 8th grade year, so I didn't get anything then. And then freshman year, I was super excited and was worried, thought I was gonna be on JV track and all this stuff. And then I ended up placing 4th at the state meet for 100 hurdles my freshman year. And then
now wait a minute, you said I thought I was gonna be on JV, and then I was like, I placed 4th at the state meet. Like that's a big gap right there. It's like, okay, you had some potential.
Yeah, so, I had a little bit. Yeah,
just a tad.
And then and then 3rd my junior, and then 2nd last year for 2nd my junior, 3rd sophomore.
So what does it look like for you this year?
So I plan.
You're like, no, you just say win the whole thing.
I'm planning on winning the whole thing. I better win the whole thing.
I almost did a major league line, but it was like it's Sunday morning radio.
Yeah, I better have that goal. If I don't, I'm not. You won't see me. But
yeah, awesome. Yeah. Like where are you looking at right now, or is that kind of still just kind of undisclosed?
North Dakota State University is one of my top right now, and Davidson. Those have been my 2 favorites.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, I know like both of you all have been absolutely fantastic. What's one thing that you want to say? Shout out some love to your family or anything like that you want to say, a piece of appreciation to them.
Okay. So just last night, my grandpa on my dad's side, my grandpa Freddie, he was like, make sure you like shout out like for me. And I was like, yeah, like pretty much my whole family. Like I can't just like individually, but he just gave me a lot of advice, like after all my games, just to talk to me for like an hour, just like pretty much every time. And then my mom and my dad, they're like a big part of my family, like always there to support me, just like my grandparents have been like at my games and stuff.
Awesome. Lainey, what about you? Just a shout out to members of your family.
My family's my support system. Like they're always coming to my stuff, and it's just like good to actually have like people there that that are always there for you. And then like my track coach, Ramon Adams, he's also like pretty much my family at this point.
Awesome. I think the cool part is you got both your dads over there Sunday morning looking through the window. They're like thumbs up. And then I still go back to the first statement, running for volleyball. What's next on the volleyball agenda for you? What's
Pius Tuesday?
Pius on Tuesday.
At home, be there.
Hey, make sure you're there. Go ahead to Rocket Gymnasium and see them. Hey, I do want to thank Anea. There you go. And Lainey, both for being here this Sunday morning. Just want to shout out, September is National Suicide Prevention Month. Again, if you know someone thinking about suicide or harming themselves, be the one to help them connect to resources, help them build a support system, including the 988 Lifeline, family, friends, clergy, coaches, coworkers, or therapists, or even right here at 93.7 The Ticket. With that being said, join us next Sunday on Bigger Than the Score with Pete Ferguson and Harrison on the ones and twos.
Great Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring, and